Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is November 6th, and it is Thursday. My weekend is here, as I thankfully get 3-day weekends. I know I say that all the time, but I'm very grateful for that and being a college student. So, I'm ready to enjoy the weekend. And hopefully all you guys are getting ready to enjoy the weekend. I know the week's almost over. Whether you're going to work, whether you're going to school, whatever it is, hopefully you guys are doing wonderful, and hopefully you guys have some great plans for this weekend. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support is greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. We're super duper close. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support is greatly appreciated. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing as well. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. That being said, let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump administration segment, where we have one topic here today. Trump has declared affordability to be a dead issue. In a post on Truth Social, Trump has claimed that affordability is a dead issue. In his post, he wrote, 2025 Thanksgiving dinner under Trump is 25% lower than the 2024 Thanksgiving dinner under Biden, according to Walmart. My costs are lower than the Democrats on everything, especially oil and gas. So the Democrats' affordability issue is dead. Stop lying. This is an interesting claim because, for one, it's not true, but also, according to reports, Trump is telling Republicans behind the scenes that affordability is his focus in 2026, which is really interesting. He claims this is a dead issue, yet it almost seems like he's once again lying to make himself look better, something he does all the time. I've been very open about my financial situation, and I will tell you, affordability is a very massive issue. It is hard to afford things in the United States of America when it shouldn't be. I remember when groceries were super cheap. I mean, the things I go and get from the grocery store, I remember them when they were half the price. And now it's like I'm grocery shopping for myself, and it's like things are double the price now. Not to mention gas isn't getting any better and all that kind of stuff. None of this is getting better. Trump is flat out lying to you here. And I think all of us can recognize that and should be able to recognize that. In other news, ICE dragged a daycare teacher out of a school. An employee at a Chicago preschool and daycare was detained by ICE as children were being dropped off on Wednesday morning. The employee ran inside the center, and when officers arrived, she was detained at the entry of the facility. On top of that, authorities also entered the building to question people. ICE claims that they did not target the daycare, but according to witness reports, they say otherwise, as ICE arrived as soon as the facility opened. ICE needs to be shut down, genuinely. I mean, going after a daycare is not only insane, but absolutely disgusting. Not to mention this took place in front of children, which will have so many impacts on them for years to come. I mean, this agency and the people who work for it are absolutely disgusting. They claim that they did not target this agency, but they arrived as soon as it opened, or they claimed that they did not target the school, but they arrived as soon as it opened. Like, there's no way you can't say that you weren't targeting someplace if they arrived as soon as it opened. Fuck ICE, shut the agency down, pay other federal workers. We can use our taxpayer dollars in better places for better reasons. Anyways, moving on into our other news segment with a bulk of the topics here for tonight. Nancy Pelosi plans to retire. Nancy Pelosi has announced her retirement from Congress, ending her decades-long career. Pelosi, who is 85, was the first female House Speaker ever, and also led the Democratic Party in the lower chamber of Congress for 20 years, from 2003 to 2023. Pelosi said, "We have made history, we have made progress, we have always led the way, and now we must continue to do so by remaining full participants in our democracy and fighting for the American ideals we hold dear. As we go forward, my message to the city I love is this: San Francisco, know your power." Good for her and for us. She was old as shit, genuinely, like 85 years old is too old to be in politics and needed to retire. She also got a lot of bad flack from, things like Republican smear campaigns and all of that. And although she has been in some controversy, I believe, I don't believe she deserves all the hate that she has gotten. Of course, she is old. She shouldn't have been in office. She should have retired a long time ago. But she did great things when it came to things like the Affordable Care Act and so many more things that benefited the American people's lives. Looking back on her career, she was a solid politician, and although she has taken a solid amount from APAC, you can't really get out of that with really any good politician these days. But hopefully, we can get somebody to replace her and fill her role that doesn't take a shit ton of money from APAC. In other news, Mike Johnson has announced that he won't promise healthcare extensions if Democrats vote to reopen the government. House Speaker Mike Johnson has announced that he will not give Democrats an opportunity to vote on extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies to end the government shutdown. At a press conference, Johnson said, "No, because we did our job. I'm not a part of the negotiation. I'm not promising anything to anybody. I'm going to let this process play out." Excuse me while I finish or fix. This chair is really uncomfortable. I'm gonna be so honest, and I have back problems already. But sorry about that. Anyways, if Republicans don't come to negotiate with Democrats, the government is not going to open. They claim that they want it to reopen and that the Democrats are stopping them from doing that, but they literally refuse to go to work and negotiate. The one thing Democrats are asking for them to do is to negotiate on health care. All they have to do is give Democrats a deal that will benefit the American people. Yet they refuse to do that. I mean, they are out there refusing to do that. The party controls the entire government, yet they refuse to help the American people and to, negotiate with Democrats to help the American people. Not only is that unprofessional on so many levels, but it's messed up. And how are these people going to continue to lead this country if they refuse to do things like negotiate with the opposition? It's just not going to work. It's really not. Something needs to change. These people got to be voted out, and Democrats have to be voted in, or independents have to be voted in, or something along those lines. Because we need people, for one, who not only care about the American people, but are willing to make changes and support things that actually benefit the American people, not just run and hide when it comes to negotiating. In other news, a judge says Trump is in violation for not complying with a SNAP order. A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP by Friday. U.S. District Judge John J. McConnell Jr. said people have gone without for too far long. Not making payments to them for even another day is simply unacceptable. Judge McConnell rebukes Trump for his intent to defy a court order by saying SNAP will not be funded. He continued, "In fact, the day before the compliance was ordered, the president shared his intent to defy the court order when he said SNAP payments will not be given. Only will they be given when the government reopens." This is absolutely the truth. I mean, Trump has to do this according to a court order, yet he is still actively refusing to. The man has no regard for the law, which is a massive problem. Trump has plunged us all into a constitutional crisis at this point, and if he won't follow the law, he needs to be removed from office. No one is above the law, not even the president. I don't care how many laws he has that protects him from legal systems when he leaves office or when he is in office. Nobody is above the law. And if the president is actively willing to break the law, he should not be in office. In other news, a congresswoman is waiting outside of Mike Johnson's office taking questions. Democratic Representative Yasmin Ansari is outside of Speaker Mike Johnson's office taking questions with a sign reading, "Mike Johnson is starting families. Change my mind." Someone inside the Speaker's office raised the volume in an attempt to drown her out, according to the representative, but she's been there taking questions from people wanting to know answers. This is great, and something people really should do more. Let's be real. Republicans control all three branches of the government, and all the Democrats are asking for them to do is come to the table and negotiate. But they refuse to do that, and Johnson continues to send lawmakers back home. The government has to reopen eventually, and Republicans are going to have to negotiate eventually. They're just dragging this out and stopping the government from reopening. I mean, we are in the longest government shutdown in our country's history, and it could be ended. All the Republicans have to do is negotiate on healthcare. With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It has definitely been a very interesting day, that's for sure. But if you're new here, please consider subscribing. All the support is greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 500 on YouTube by the end of the year. I believe we can do it without a doubt. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing as well. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. With that being said, we're out here building a political platform. So if you're interested in supporting someone who believes in a country that will actually better itself for its people, that will provide things like free healthcare, free college education, better education reforms as a whole, and so many more things to benefit the lives of the American people, drop a subscribe, because that's my goal. Bray 2030. Don't forget it. With that being said, thank you all for watching today's episode, and I will see you all